Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we wanted to seek the blessing of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar Krishna Balaram Bal Gopal. Gaunitai Srila Prabhupada, the Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So continuing with the Varnashram system. Yesterday we talked about the four ashrams, Brahmachari, and then we talked about um, Grahastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, and then Sannyasa ashram. So I think, Naniman, do you want to just repeat your point?
Oh, yeah, my
હમણાં મૂકું છું હમણાં પછી વાત કરીએ આપણે ઓકે ઓકે
at olden days, people used to renounce everything and go in the forest or in a secluded place and then do tapasya. They may be going out in the villages, try to spreading their religion. I'm not too sure about that. But now, sannyas, the position is different. They are in the cities, in the big village, in the big towns, cities. They are more. They don't go away into the jungle or a forest or a secluded place or an ashram, but they stay in the community. They do travel quite a bit, and then they spread. So situation is much different now. So that's why I was asking about the women. But as you explained, that women need protection, hence they are not that much into the sannyas in this area, in this Kali Yuga. But as you say, as Mataji was saying, in certain sects like Jainism, Swaminarayan, they do have ladies as sannyasis.
Yes, usually it is recommended that the ladies are always protected because men are so crazy, unscrupulous. So that protection is given firstly by the father to the daughter, and then when the daughter gets married, the husband gives protection to the wife, and then when the husband is no longer there, for whatever reason, the children look after the mother. So generally, ladies, it is not recommended to take sannyas in any of the ages, actually, not just Kali Yuga, any age. And the thing also we have to bear in mind is the nature of Matajis is much more devotionally inclined. So even if they haven't taken sannyas, to be honest, it makes no difference. Whether one is sannyas, grahastha, vanaprastha, or brahmachari, makes no difference whatsoever. Because it is almost, it all depends on how one is devoted to God. And we know from experience that Matajis generally are very much inclined towards bhakti. They have this natural attraction to Krishna, to Radha and Krishna, and that natural attraction is more powerful than any ashram, for sure, because that's what Krishna consciousness is all about, having that spontaneous, natural devotion towards the Lord. So, to be honest, I put actually very, very little value on somebody who takes sannyas. As you said, in the old days, the sannyas was very austere. They may not even in the old days go so much to the forest, because vanaprastha is mainly when they go to the forest. They would go from village to village, and generally they would have, like they would walk and they would inspire and give lectures and teach and show how Sanatan Dharma is to be followed. But in this current age of Kali Yuga, one, Vyasadeva has forbidden sannyas. If we look at the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, it expressly says that one should not take sannyas in this age of Kali Yuga. Prabhupada gave sannyas, and his spiritual master gave sannyas. And mainly that was for increasing the preaching of the movement, expanding the movement in the early days. But I now really do question anybody who takes, especially if they're young. What is the motivation of taking sannyas? Is it to gain name and fame and respect? Because that's the only thing I can surmise. That somebody wants to take sannyas, especially at a young age, is because they want the respect that the sannyasi gets. And that's not a reason to take sannyas. See, you can preach, you can do anything you want without taking sannyas. Why do you want to take sannyas? Sannyas has been forbidden by Vyasadev. Prabhupada is no longer with us. He gave sannyas early. Later on, he said, too many sannyasis have fallen down, no more sannyasis. And we've seen that experience in the Hare Krishna movement. So many sannyasis have gone back to grihastha life. And it causes such a disturbance in the movement. So why give sannyas anymore? What's the point? Apart from gaining some status, who's stopping somebody from preaching? Nobody's stopping anybody from preaching. Even if somebody tries to stop you, nobody can really stop you from preaching. And you don't have to be a sannyasi to preach. If somebody is thinking, I have to be a sannyasi in order to do my seva, then there's something wrong with that person, because you don't have to do that. You can do anything in any ashram, So I really question why somebody would take sannyas and why somebody would give sannyas in this age of Kali Yuga. I don't think it's appropriate anymore. They should stop it. My personal opinion, because it just creates a disturbance, And all you're doing is you're increasing somebody's ego. And how is that helping that person? Let them be a brahmachari. What's the problem? It's the same clothes. So this is my view anyway, for what it's worth. And we will check that point about Swami Narayan. I didn't know they gave sannyas to ladies. That's very interesting to know that. So let's talk about we've talked about the ashrams. Let's talk about the varnas now. The Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishya, and the Shudras. So the four varnas are regarded as different parts of society according to bodily parts. So we talked about this yesterday, how the Brahmins represent like the head of the society, the Kshatriyas are the arms, Vaishya like the stomach, and the Shudras are the feet. In order for the body to function, you need the head. Definitely, you need the head, you need the hands, you need the legs, you need the stomach. Otherwise, the body won't function. Not in a cordial manner. So in the same way, society needs the Brahmins, they need the Kshatriyas, they need the Vaishya, they need the Shudras. But if we look at the ashrams, if we look at the four ashrams, the sannyas is not needed in a society. Sannyas is not needed at all. Similarly, vanaprastha can be also avoided. Grihastha you can't, because you need a future generation. And the brahmachari you can't avoid. But the vanaprastha and sannyas in a society in Kali Yuga hardly exists. And if it does exist, it's because of somebody's ego being massaged. So, but in terms of the varnas, you need all four in order for the society to function. And Krishna has arranged it in that way. And we see from this picture, you got the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishya, and the Shudra. So what do the Brahmins do? The Brahmins provide education, spiritual leadership. They determine the vision and the values of any society. Traditionally, their basic needs were fulfilled. So they didn't have to go to work. Their basic needs would be fulfilled by society so that they could dedicate themselves to their spiritual tasks. They were expected to live very frugally. So generally, we see that as well. Brahmins are generally poor. Not in all cases, but generally poor. What is their duties? To study and teach the Vedas or the scriptures, to perform sacrifice and religious ceremonies, and to teach others how to perform such rituals. Oh yes, Madhuban. You might be muted, Madhuban.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I was just asking about talking about one prasthan, right?
Vanaprastha.
One prasthan. In Gujarati, we just pronounce one prasthan. So I was Mataji was discussing with you about that stage, and don't you don't you think when you are when like a brahmachari, same is one prashan, you can live in the family.
Correct.
Just idea is that you
Correct.
have to detach from your
Yes.
materialism
Yes.
and fam-
That's correct.
some families emotion everything,
Correct.
and
Correct.
at least with bhakti, whatever you just read bhakti or whatever social work or anything, just for
That's correct.
your
No,
society.
that's spot on. It's Vanaprastha is where you retired, uh,
Hmm.
and you are focusing more on the spirituality.
Hmm.
And you may well go to the holy places for
Jatra is a
yeah,
jatra, yeah.
correct, correct. But you would have no, this close connection with your wife. Uh,
Hmm.
but you are together. You are together. You're not
Yeah, yeah,
separated. Correct.
yeah.
That is
So
correct.
you can stay in family but live
That's right.
sa- like a sadhu or some sant.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the life.
correct. That's
Yeah,
correct.
okay. But when you say sannyas,
Hmm.
sannyas
He's
these
left
days,
home.
but these days we just watching everywhere. Sannyasi even lives with their lived wife in a some jatra's place or some, not in the house but they're saying outside some countries, and so it's now the definition is, I think.
Shifted.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was yesterday. I was thinking that so many munis and so many sun in Haridwar or in
Hmm.
our pilgrim spaces. You can places you can see they live with their wife. But I
Yeah.
don't know the relationship, what type of relationship they're having. And then when once I had that same question and I was reading in the book. They said in the ancient time, the old munis, they used to live with their wife as well.
But they were not sannyasi, like Vyasdev. He
Yeah,
lived
yeah, yeah.
with his wife. But they were vanaprasthas. They were not sannyasis. Sannyasi means no more wife. That's
Okay,
very
okay.
clear.
So
Yeah.
that's not a sannyas.
That's
That's
not
not.
sannyas. That's vanaprastha.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Madhuban. So, Brahman's duties to study, teach the Vedas, perform sacrifice and religious ceremonies, and teach others how to perform such rituals, to accept alms, to accept charity, and to also give in charity, to offer guidance, especially to the Kshatriyas, to know Brahman, to know the spirit and the self and the Supreme Lord, to never accept paid employment. The Brahman is neutral, he is independent. He is not the puppet of anybody. He speaks his mind. He is not influenced by others through monetary gain. He is allowed, is able to give his opinion without any hindrance at all. So this is very important for Brahman to develop all ideal qualities, especially honesty, integrity, cleanliness, purity, austerity, knowledge, and wisdom. So this Brahminical caste is very high standards, high standards. And there are Brahmins like this, especially we'll find them in Bharat. There are real Brahmins. Very rare, but you'll find them. So the verse that is in the Bhagavad Gita, which discusses the qualities of Brahman, is this one, 4:13. Actually, it can't be 4:13, it must be 14:13. No, it's not even 4:30. It's not 4. It's chapter 18. This is chapter 18 anyway. Samudamastapa saucham shantir ajavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmins work. So anybody who has these qualities naturally, they're Brahman. Whether they're born in a family of Shudras, Kshatriyas, or Vaishya, doesn't matter. They're Brahman if they have these natural qualities. So we have our Brahman here. He really is a phenomenal character. Kshatriyas, they're the warriors, the police, administrators. The Kshatriyas are nobility. The protectors of society. Though permitted a number of privileges, they are expected to display considerable strength of body and character. So what are their duties? To protect the citizens from harm, especially women, children, cows, Brahmins, and the elderly. They're also to ensure that the citizens perform their prescribed duties and advance spiritually. To be first into the battle, never to flee the battle. They're not cowards. The Kshatriyas are warriors. They're not, if they're challenged, they will meet the challenge. To be true to their royal word, they will stick to their word. They give a promise, they stick to it. This is the Ramachandra Bhagavan. To never refuse a challenge. To develop noble qualities such as power, chivalry, and generosity. They're very, very generous. They will give everything. Like Karn, the wonderful character in Mahabharata, he was extremely generous. Krishna named him Dhanveer. He is so generous. To levy taxes from the Vaishya only, and to never accept charity under any circumstance. They never accept charity. They give charity. To take counsel, especially from the Brahmins. So Ramachandra Bhagavan, when he was the king, he had a council of Brahmins who would advise him how to run the kingdom. To know the scriptures, especially the Artha Shastras. This is the scriptures dealing with war and weapons. To deal uncompromisingly with crime and lawlessness. To take responsibility for shortcomings in their kingdom. To conquer their own minds and senses. And to enjoy only according to scriptural injunctions. So these are qualities of the Brahmin. And Krishna explains in 1843. So the other verse was 1842, Bhagavad Gita. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the natural qualities of the work for the Kshatriya. So then we look at the Vaishya, farmers, merchants, business people. The Vaishya are the productive class. They and the Kshatriyas and the Brahmins are called twice-borns, indicating that they accept the sacred thread symbolizing spiritual initiation and must perform certain rituals and rites of passage. So what are their duties? To protect the animals, especially the cow and the land, to create wealth and prosperity, to maintain workers with abundant food and clothing, and etc. To trade ethically, to give taxes to the Kshatriyas. And Krishna explains their position. Farming, cow protection, business, the natural work of the Vaishya. So, what we haven't put here is to...
Charity.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Charity. They're supposed to give charity to the Brahmins especially. Yes, very good. They give tax to the Kshatriyas, but they should give charity to the Brahmins. Anything else missing? Anybody?
Do they accept charity? No.
No, they
No.
give charity. Yeah, they give charity.
So far only Brahmins can accept charity. So
Brahmins
far.
can, yes, and the Kshatriyas tax. That's right. That's right. Then we have the Shudras, the artisans and the workers. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, actually, in this age of Kali Yuga, everybody's a Shudra. So we shouldn't think, I'm a Brahmin, I'm a Vaishya, or I'm a Kshatriya. Actually, our position is that of a Shudra. And that's not a bad position, because Shudras actually are in the most fortunate position, because they serve everybody. And when you serve others, humility naturally comes. And humility is so important, such an important quality. Krishna loves those who are humble. The Shudras are the only sections that are allowed to accept another's employment, other Varnas being occupationally and financially self-sufficient. So what are their duties? To render service to others, to take pride in their work and to be loyal, to follow general moral principles, not to steal, for example, to marry, the only compulsory rite of passage. So Krishna, what does he say? The natural work for the Shudras is labor and service to others, 1844. So that's basically the Varnas. So Varna, and then the ashram we already did yesterday. Just some basic points. Abuse of the caste system. So caste system, we know. If you're born a Brahmin, you remain a Brahmin, but you can do all nonsense and still be regarded a Brahmin. That is abuse of the caste system. And that was unfortunately done, and it's still, to some degree, in Bharat. This abuse is still continuing, but not so much, not on such a big scale as it used to. But we don't agree with this abusive behavior through the caste system. It is really not what Krishna intended, because he talks about guna and work. So that is how he establishes somebody's varna. What are their qualities and what is their work? So untouchables are mentioned in the scriptures, but they must be well supported. So there can be a community which is outside of the Varnashram system, known as untouchables. But it is not that they are expelled from society. They must be well supported. Jobs which others would not do is delegated to them. The cemetery attendance, for example. So this is something that is a little controversial, but there's room for everybody within Vedic society, or any society, actually. Is a classless society needed to avoid social exploitation? Because this is the model that was chosen by China and also Russia, that we abolish the class system so everybody's equal. But of course, even in those societies, they have the teachers, the professors, they have the army people, they have the business people, they have the workers. How can you avoid it? Society won't function if you don't have those divisions. So even in a society where they say they're classless, they're not, because they have these natural divisions anyway. So even if it's a classless, it doesn't mean social exploitation won't be there. It will still be there, because this is what people do. They exploit their positions. So if somebody has a certain quality, they will use that quality to bring down other people. That's just going to happen. But where you have a society where it is defined that you recognize these positions, then there's going to be less exploitation because everybody's aware of their duties. In Kali Yuga, everybody is regarded as Shudra. So that's interesting. And this is just an idea of the different ashrams and varnas. I mean, the Shudras don't need any formal education or any retirement, and they don't take sannyas. And only the Brahmins really should take sannyas. Kshatriyas and Brahmins can go to the forest. And generally, this is where we are. Generally, this is where we are in society. Anyway. So, any questions? Any comments? There's quite a lot of detail on Varnashram.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, that you said those who work in cemetery, they are classified under Varnashram.
They may be outside of the Varnashram system, but not outside society. They may be regarded as untouchables because untouchables are mentioned in the scriptures. And they're not subjected to the same standard as a Shudra. Even a Shudra is considered quite high level, actually. Because if we look at the duties of the Shudra, they're not simple duties. Rendering service, rather taking pride in the work, be loyal, follow general moral principles. That's not, a lot of people can't follow those moral principles, even in everyday society. So the position of the Shudra is not necessarily a low position. It's quite a high position.
Of course,
especially in Kali Yuga.
But those who work in cemetery, you said they can be either or.
Yeah, they can be outside of the Varnashram system. That's right. But not outside of society. They still have to be well supported. This is the point. They have to be well supported.
Yes.
Yes, it's a little controversial. It's also a little hard to digest. Yeah, I do struggle with that a little bit. Haven't got full I haven't got full practical knowledge on this yet. On this bit about the untouchables and how they are actually integrated within society, within the Vedic concept. Is that okay, Shyamalini?
Yes, Prabhu. But I thought Varnashram is what you mentioned before is people who have from a retired position, isn't it? I don't know if I got
but no, Vanaprastha. That's Vanaprastha.
Oh, Vanaprastha, yes.
Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is different, yeah. And here it's saying Vanaprastha really, it's only for the Kshatriyas and the Brahmins. Not for the Grahastha necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
Grahastha is stuck. They are meant to, provide for society until the fellow drops dead. So.
All right. You mean Varnashram, yeah?
Yeah.
So, sorry, Prabhuji.
Yes.
That means this four includes Shudra. They in Gita they said they all Krishna made this four.
That's correct. Correct.
Yeah. If he made four, then why I I,
Why is
I
that so?
know I know the reason. Krishna wanted, like in our house, our in house, we just to when we used to live in joint family,
Hmm.
head of the house, then
Yes.
some young children go to work and earn the money. Lady can cook, and like that time they organization like this. So these four Varnashram and everything, the four is like a so
Yes.
maintain the society.
Maintain the society. That's
He
correct.
Yeah. So Shudra,
Hmm.
that time he might thought the Shudra has to work. These days nobody can work in India. Even nobody like to work to wash your toilet or anything. Even this country
Hmm.
now when house cleaner comes our house, and if she's I remember last month, I remember I sent one lady to my friend house, and the lady told her, I won't wash your toilet. So that my friend rang me, and she said, the lady is not like to work in whole house, and only she said, I can clean your house, not a toilet. Yeah. So I said, in this, I didn't say anything to her, because it wasn't my business. They both have to understand.
Hmm.
But long time ago, when I was very young, when I was child, we have seen that Shudra, they come and clean our waste and whatever, the
Hmm.
some job, special some job they do. Nobody can touch that, and nobody can touch the people when they come our house. They don't allow to touch us as well.
Hmm.
So, but when we become young, when I started job, I remember government put the rules that 10% job you have to allow for the Shudra people.
Mhm.
And day by day, now Shudra is like similar. Krishna wanted same thing. He didn't want to put the Shudra to out of the town, and they live out of the town, and you can't touch them and ignore them. But so meaning was different, and we use this Varna different way. That's
Hmm.
what that was I understand. Is it true?
Um,
Did I explain you properly or not? I don't know. Yeah, it's this ચાર four વર્ણ ચાર વર્ણ કૃષ્ણએ તો આપણા વર્ડ ને સમાજને મેન્ટેન કરવા બનાવ્યા.
hmm.
We misuse that all, some of them.
To a degree, to a degree. See, if you look at this culture, the Western culture, it's
Mm.
actually they're following one ashram in one sense, because by your natural qualities, you take your position. You know, if somebody is born in a family of, I don't know, say
That's right.
Brahm or Dustman, yeah, say Shudras, but
Yeah.
they can become a doctor if they're qualified, if they
Oh
both.
yeah, yeah,
So, this society, you could argue that Varnashram is, to a certain degree, it is through your natural abilities, which is what Krishna wanted it. So,
mm,
and it's functioning well. So,
mm,
however, in every society, you need the Brahminical class, to guide, and that is missing in a very big way. So the Brahmins, the teachers, the higher authorities in society are corrupt. So they cannot lead the society. So the head is missing. So it's a headless
yeah,
chicken in
yeah,
one sense, it's a headless chicken. They
yeah.
need the Brahminical class to really rise in society, to lead the way. Otherwise, people are just lost, in sense enjoyment. They don't forget about spirituality. They don't understand anything about spirituality because the leaders are not understanding. So this is where society is failing. The Brahmins are not there um, to guide the general population. And when I say Brahmins, I'm talking about the priests, the rabbis, and the clergy, and whoever. They need to be, properly qualified, and they can lead the way for society. Does that make sense, Mother Ben?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. So
Okay.
is Varnashram is now still there, but
Oh yeah, it'll never go because Krishna
yeah,
created it. It'll
yeah.
still be there. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
Yeah, but when you said this fellow is Brahmin, so it's not by caste, but it's
by quality.
quality. That's not the same thing in other Varnashram as well. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Correct.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, did you want to ask something?
Yes, Prabhuji, 1 minute. My battery's
No problem.
going down. I have to fix the wire first quickly.
Okay.
It's whatever I wanted to ask, most of his Madhuben asked, so I'm pleased with it. But this is something different. When you said earlier in the satsang that most of the sannyasis has fallen down, when Prabhupada said that it's all right if you don't take sannyas. So when you said fallen down, what does that mean? Is it like
Going back to
people are
married
not
life.
taking more sannyas
No,
now?
they may have gone back to married life.
Oh, that means they are in they have been sannyasi, then they come off the sannyas, and then they go in the married life.
Gee, yes. Something like that. Yes.
Something like that. That's fine then. And now, are you saying that now Prabhupada is telling that...
Before he left, he died, or he left the planet in 77. But before he left, many months before, he stopped sannyas. He said nobody should take sannyas because so many sannyasis were going back. Not able to follow the strict rules.
All right. They were young sannyasis, but they couldn't follow the strict rules. So it fallen down and they went back to the married life. And then he just completely stopped.
Yeah. Then he said no more sannyas. No, and they should. I just fail to understand why somebody would take sannyas and why somebody would give sannyas. It just does not make sense.
And if you remember, I did mention, like not last year, but year before, because I've been with you nearly 2 years now. And one of our, in Africa, one of our relation, they had 2 sons. And Swami Narayan asked that we want one of your son to be sadhu. So they gave their son to the sadhu. He was like about 12 or 13. He went to be a sadhu, and he was there nearly up to 21, when he was up to 21. And then he didn't like it, so he come back from the sadhuness, and then he got married.
That's more like brahmachari, you see. That's a little different from what I understand. That, you can, for the first 25 years of your life, you can remain a brahmachari, study under the Gurukul, and then take to the Grahastha ashram. So that's okay. That's okay. But maybe the way they do it in the Swaminarayan might be a little different. But
that's different, all right, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, then he got married, that's it.
Yeah.
And come, anyway, thank you very much, and thanks for a good explanation. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and all the Matajis.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think that's why Krishna made this one ashram all, because he didn't want to go straight away to sannyas and straight away to one prasthan, because once you live in society some year, and when you get all experience, then you don't need to come back. Otherwise, some people in young age, as Prabhavati Ben said, in Swaminarayan, in Jainism, I remember two of my few students anyway had a sannyas in Jainis Dharma, and when I still now when I go in India, in my town, the sadhvi call me to meet because they interested to see the teacher, so I go there. Sometimes I discuss with them, not now, but when we young, we like to know what's their life and what's going on. And so I found that without thinking or without experience, in young age, when they take a sannyas, they say this is the misguided and misunderstanding.
Yeah, it is for sure. I agree
And
with
they they were regretting whatever they did. But sometimes as a society where they live, so they carry on this life, but they're not happy.
Yeah, correct. There's a
So
lot.
everything, when you go anything, when you go to do something, you have to go step by step.
Mm,
And you can't say, I just want now, I don't want to live in a house, I want to take a sannyas and I want to do now religious so and so thing, but it's only few days, because of you don't know actual whole things, whole process.
yeah,
So never successful.
yeah. You have to be very careful. I agree with that. Thank you, Madhubin. Thank you for sharing that.
And
I think
second thing, sorry Prabhavi.
I think one thing is just we have to be a willpower. That's all.
Willpower, understanding, so many things there are.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Second thing, not related with this topic, but I was on that time on Shivratri lecture. I was reading, but I couldn't understand one thing. I don't know how to explain. I know Shankar, Krishna, Ram, Vishnu, all same, all the avatars. If you think, but I don't Vishnu, Ram, and Krishna. They three, their avatar. But what about Shankar? Shankar is the
Yes.
avatar when
Yes.
they come, but with never, he never born, never.
No. He is. Thing is, it's very easily explained in one scripture.
Huh?
Who is Shankar? When Vishnu wants to touch this world,
Huh?
he becomes Shankar. He becomes Shiva. Just like Brahma Samhitam Aslok che.
Huh?
Shikam yatha dadi vikara vishesha yogat. He
Mm-hmm.
explains that just like આપણે દૂધ હોય અને
Huh?
આપણે દહીં બનાવવું હોય તો
Huh?
એમાં આપણે થોડુંક curding
Then,
agent નાખવાનું
yeah. Yeah.
make it દહીં. So when Vishnu wants to be in touch with this world,
Huh?
he becomes Shiva. So Vishnu is like the milk, Shiva is the yak, the yogurt, and the material world is like the curding agent. When you mix Vishnu in touch with this world, he transforms into Shiva. So there is no difference between Shiva and Vishnu. He's the one and the same. Just like there's no difference between milk and yogurt. They are both dairy products.
So
But
why this?
just 1 second, 1 second. At the same time, there is a difference because milk and yogurt are different.
Yeah.
So Vishnu and Shiva are same, but also they are different because when Shiva is in touch with, when Vishnu is in touch with this world, he becomes Shiva. So he's one and the same, but also different.
So why he becomes Shiva when he touched the
Because
this
he
world?
doesn't touch this world. Vishnu does not touch this world. He only touches it through Shiva.
Oh, is there any reason, particular reason?
Yes, because Vishnu has no connection with the material world.
Material word, okay.
Even when he comes here as Krishna, he brings everything with him. Everything
Mm.
comes with him. He brings the whole spiritual world with him to Vrindavan. Everything comes.
So in Vishnu avatar, when he touched this material world,
Everything
that
comes. Everything
and that
comes
time
with.
Shiv, then that time Shiv become.
He becomes Shiva. He becomes Shiva.
Oh, I don't know about Shiv much, so
Yeah.
I
This is the
believe
point.
in Shiv, but
Yeah.
and I don't. And second thing, when Ling appearance and what about can you tell us about Ling, Shiv Ling?
That will take time. Yeah.
Okay,
We will
okay,
do that another time.
Can
But
we
the
do that
shivling is
another
very
time?
interesting. Yeah, very interesting. So we will do that another time. Thank you.
okay, okay. Thank
We will
you.
do a special thing on Lord Shiva.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
And
Prabhu,
actually, I'll send you our YouTube lecture on Friday. Just have a look at that, Madhuben, on Shiva.
okay, I read little bit,
Ah,
but not whole of them. Half I read and I left it. And when I don't understand, Shiv come and Vishnu goes, something I
ah,
was a mix up in my mind. That's why I
okay.
just put a point. Whenever you get chance, can you explain these things?
Okay.
Okay, okay. Today you said something I understand. Anyway, the whole I know that I never believed they are different. I always say the whole God
They're
is
one
one.
and the same, but
Yeah,
also they are different. Shiv Tattva is very hard to understand. He is
yeah,
the one of the most complex personality, but also one of the most kindest.
yeah. I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
yeah, Malini, what were you saying?
Now, Prabhu, did you say in Bhagavad Gita chapter 12 we can read about the different what you have explained?
Oh, the
The
Varnashram? 18. Chapter
Varnashram.
18,
18, yeah?
text 42, 43, 44.
All right, 42. Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That was a good session. Thank you so much. So let's stop there. Sanatan Dharma ki jai. Varnashram Dharma ki jai.